Look at Collier. Doesn't he look handsome today in his little rock star suit gear? I like my red vines. What you got there, Jorge? Pick up a mic and talk to us.
I have a Blackmagic cinema camera, and I'm filming my shoe right here, and it looks really, really nice.
Film the audience.
Why don't you tell us about what that adapter is on that Nikon Prime you have there?
Jorge said, don't ask me any technical questions. All right, before we get into that, let's say hi to everybody because apparently we're starting, and we want them to tweet to us. Tweet your questions to us. To at Road2NAB show, Road number 2 NAB show. You tweet them, we're going to answer them right during the show. Going to give a quick hello to some of the people who are already sort of tweeting us and talking to us. One is Skyla. Hi, Skyla. Everybody say hi to Skyla.
Hi, Skyla.
And we've got John Sessoms. John Sessoms, hi. He's in Florida. He's a sound guru. He told us he wants us to take a bunch of sound gear and put it in our pocket and take it with him. Take it with us to Florida and give it to him.
Where are we at in Florida? Lauderdale?
He's like Orlando. Oh, then I could go to Harry Potter Land on the trip.
Orlando. You can go to Harry Potter Land.
Did you hate living in Orlando? It was hot and sticky and smelled like mildew.
When I moved to Orlando, everybody was like, it rains every day at 4 o'clock in Central Florida. I'm like, that's bullshit. And they're like, it rains for 20 minutes at 4 o'clock every day. It's not bullshit. It rains for 20 minutes every day at 4 o'clock.
Is that what it always smells like
really
mildew
eerie.
there?
It's really eerie. It's just, there's a lot of fires. So I would drive to work early in the morning to my office from Oviedo to Winter Park. And
Sessoms, is that true? Does it rain for 20 minutes every day?
Like fires. It was nasty. It was really like smoke.
So we have a guest here, which I'm very excited about. So I just wanted to ask you guys if you're feeling better. You got some sleep last night. We're kind of got energy now. We're like,
thank God.
like 12 hours of sleep compared to the 2 we've been getting. So we're like zooming right now. I'm afraid of what's going to come out of my mouth today because I'm just like high on sleep. I didn't know that was a thing. It's exciting. And I was told the hot tub's going to be fixed today. We may not see us again after this.
Which is not really accommodating for the amount of people that we had. Just because they had a freaking hot tub. And we get there and we find out the hot tub is broke.
It's broke. Uh-oh.
Collier slam dunking.
Hey, I slam dunk a basketball.
So John Sessoms tweeted, no, it's not true. It doesn't rain every 20 minutes every day.
At least it used to when I lived in, when I lived in Oviedo.
You took the rain away.
Global warming.
But I can say that probably the weather systems have changed in the last 14 years.
Our guest is getting antsy to get in. So before we bring in our guest and get talking to her, we want to just give a shout out to Blackmagic because this camera has survived the desert and the dirt and the crazy elements, and we made some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful movies on these.
And thank you to Red Rock Micro for sponsoring us with that really nice rig, which is featuring their black.
We actually shot on Zeiss lenses, but we had to give those back. So we're back to our awesome Nikons.
And we're using a Metabone speed booster for the Nikon Primes on the Blackmagic Cinema camera, Micro Four Thirds mount. It's a great camera. Check it out.
We'll talk more about it, and we're just going to show you guys videos on Thursday. We're going to show you pieces of our videos on Thursday, so mark your calendars for 9 a.m. Thursday, 9 a.m. PST. But for now, we're going to let Jorge go and film, go meet some people, do his thing.
Follow us.
Have fun, Jorge. Road2NAB show, at Road2NAB show on Twitter. Like us on Facebook.
And look, here it is. It's Adrian Ashley. We're so happy that you can look at her. Hi. She's wearing blue too.
I'm totally wearing blue.
Producer Justin, she might be outdoing you with the blue.
I wanted this side.
Looking
of my
pretty
hair,
smashing.
But, we should switch sides so that I can have my better side.
You can switch with Collier. Wait, no, are you on your good side?
I'm on my good side.
So he's not
going to. That's okay. He's not going to switch. That's okay. Both sides are equally fabulous.
Hi. You make your eyes pop. So Adrian, I mean, a lot of people don't even understand what it is you do, and I think it's better that you tell them than me because I will tell you what she does for me, provide happiness and love. But tell our audience what it is you do.
So in a nutshell, I carry around a basket of fairy dust, and I make creative people's dreams come true.
That's a really great way to describe it.
Because it's a feeling. More than activities, because the activities change and rotate based on whoever it is that I happen to be doing something for. And so it really is just, what is it that you want? And if inspiration strikes, it just happens magically. I don't even know how. The person you need just shows up.
Yeah. Do you, so you're really you're known as a Twitter influencer.
I'm a social media influencer, yes. I'm a beast.
Please. I've actually been asked several times. Even people have met you, or people, I'll say, oh, Twitter influencer, and they're like, what does that mean? Can you tell us from your words what that means?
So that means that I'm funny. I'm largely inappropriate. I talk about boobs. Occasionally, I do other things on Twitter. I post lots of pictures. And I go to a lot of events, and I live tweet from them. So, like at this event, I started a few days early and started chatting in the hashtag NAB show, and made friends and started meeting people. So I'm like Julie, the cruise director. That's how I got influential. So I have a lot of influential friends, and I talk, and I'm social. And if you talk to me, I might just follow you back.
Follow me, I'll follow you back. Nobody?
Oh, no. If they follow me, I don't automatically follow them back. Definitely not.
Let's just
they
start
have
all
to
the
be
follow you
interesting.
songs. It looks like Daniel Knight has joined us. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Are we live? Are we totally
we're
live?
Totally live.
Oh, my God.
Watch what you say. She's not going to watch what she says.
We have a 7-second delay because remember I said largely inappropriate? Totally inappropriate. I can be inappropriate.
So, Daniel, tweet us any questions you have. All the people watching, tweet us questions.
NMXLive.com, correct?
Well, I'm just doing that Road to NAB show. Just tweet us right directly, and we're there.
Road to NAB
They're
show.
watching us on NMXLive.com.
I want to take this time to thank NMX. That's actually where I met Jen, and my entire world changed. So if you've not been to New Media Expo, you must go next year. Trust me, your world will change like mine.
Yes.
I had an idea that was rebranding Reno from Reno 911 into the indie film mecca that it is now, like Austin, Texas 20 years ago. And I created a show. And it was in my head, and then I went to NMX, and I met Bonnie Gillespie, and all of a sudden...
And Bonnie Gillespie was there because I brought her there to be on my women empowerment panel.
Right.
And it was just like, I love how the magic of the universe...
The magic of the universe, like everything...
And Bonnie's
just
so
click,
busy.
Click, click, click.
But, she's one of those people that's so busy that I thought for sure she's going to be, sorry, Jen, I'd love to, but I can't. And she went, you know what? Yes. And just the universe was just pushing it together, like you said, like magical things just happened. And within 30 days, the show was cast with celebrities. We already had audition tapes coming in, and now we're like 90 days later. We're about to enter the finals and the open voting for America. Vote therealdeal.tv, REEL deal.tv. Actually, both of these lovely directors are contestants on my show. We submitted videos. We went through all of the channels, and we just happened to get both selected because we're both awesome.
They're both really, really awesome.
We're gonna battle. We're gonna battle it out. We're gonna battle it out.
They've got to battle it out.
I've actually been begging and pleading both of them to just let Collier be my DP because. Not that I don't want to battle out as directors. I think it'd be fun, but I don't want to work with another DP on anything else.
But see, that's the challenge because you don't always get to pick your DP.
I am always going to pick my DP. That's in my contract. Collier Landing's my DP or you don't get me. I might have just screwed myself out of some jobs.
You might have.
But probably were jobs I didn't want anyway.
Yeah,
they
want me.
No, they want you. They want you.
They do. We work so well together. I don't know. You haven't really gotten to be on set with us yet. So, at some point you will, but there's something
I
we
will
have
in July when we shoot the show.
But then we won't be working together. We'll be competing. And then it's going to get ugly. That's why you're doing it.
Yeah.
She wants the drama.
Here's the thing. I refuse to cast assholes. I'm only casting fantastic people who have cooperative, competitive spirits, right? So they're both going to try and outdo each other. They're not going to try and sabotage each other. They're going to try and one-up each other. And that is going to be great TV, and the end result is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
So, yes, I'm actually... I'm architecting the drama.
Yes, she is. Evil. Are we getting a picture on the? We're live. Now you tweet that.
That's gotta be better. Yeah,
that was a bad picture. Hi, we're gonna tweet this, and then you guys are gonna retweet it and make comments about how fat I look on my face. Oh wait, okay, wait. This is riveting television.
Riveting
folks.
television.
Riveting television. So the real deal. We're filming in July.
We're filming in July in Los Angeles. So it started out. It was going to be in Reno, and then Reno dropped the ball, and I said, "Okay, that's data I needed. I'm going to LA." And now Louisiana's throwing $1 million our way. Going, come here, and all the other cities are starting to perk up and go, "Wait, we want you guys here."
And Los Angeles ain't going to give no money.
No,
they are some cheap.
But you
You're
know what?
cheap
Everything I
bastards.
need is all in
Hey,
one
we
place.
we did get some better tax incentives thanks to Mayor Garcetti. I do want to give him a shout out.
We actually
because
have tax
we get-
incentives?
Yeah, we're getting free permitting for any pilot shot in the city of Los Angeles. So
Are you
We
serious?
do want to thank the city of Los
That is
Angeles
a huge
for that.
deal for
Uh,
them.
That is a huge deal.
I
and our
need
mayor
that.
Came through with that, so
I
just
need
wanna
to
give
know
him a
about
shout out.
that. Somebody email me about that. Tweet me that link. I need
Tweet
that.
tweet
Tweet
about
me.
free
Tweet me.
permits.
Tweet
for
me.
pilots.
I'm not a
Maybe?
line producer, so don't quote me, but this is what I read in the LA Times. So
You
But
read
you
the LA
read.
Times?
and NPR. Yeah, I read everything.
You're smart.
Yeah.
I don't read things.
Nobody reads.
Only thing I
anything
read
anymore.
is tweets.
Everybody just tweets.
Yes.
I read tweets. And what's that now? Oh, no, we're not. I'm not going to ask Daniel's question. So you've done stirred some things up.
I've done stirred some
Daniel
things up.
Daniel Knight asks, yes, live. What's that now, boobs?
Boobs? Oh. Okay, so this is uncharacteristic of me. I'm completely covered. Normally, but see, it's not red carpet.
It's not red carpet.
So red carpet, I'm a little
They should do a blue
heavier
carpet
than
here.
I like. They should do a boob carpet. The girls come out to play, and then it's boobs, smile, boobs, smile. They never make it past that, so I don't have to worry about my dress size. Or my
there you
pink,
go, Daniel.
or my hot pink Coach
She had an answer for
flip-flops.
that.
I did actually have an answer.
John Sessoms asks us, what should we be expecting from your film shot on the way to the show? Man, Jonathan Sessoms, I don't know what you should expect because...
Can I tell you what I saw? 'Cause
Please
I was
do.
Here,
This is great. This is an outside
I was here
opinion.
yesterday. I was not a part of any of the production. I wasn't on the road with them. I literally showed up and I watched their big reveals yesterday, and it was pretty darn awesome because, they had no time. They're shooting on the fly. I actually think you said, we're going to shoot in Joshua Tree, but as in, like, the whole city, not really, like, a specific location selected ahead of time.
Oh, no.
So this was run and gun, complete indie, guerrilla, and considering how much they had no prep, no pre-production, no planning, it was run and go and get it and go. They were really coherent, very artistic. The shots were absolutely beautiful. Those Zeiss lenses were amazing.
Yeah.
I'm across the room looking at it on the TV, and I'm like, damn, that's beautiful. And the setups of the shots were just gorgeous. They did a really, really good job. It showed that quality execution can be done with no planning, no nothing. You don't actually have to have, a lot of pre-production in there if you've got raw talent, and then they put it all together. So,
Well, it helps that, like, we've all been, like, shooting that sort of run and gun style for a while.
Yeah.
I always tell her, like, I've been hired. Actually, the feature I did with Eric Roberts, who's one of the celebrities on your shows, we were only given 5 days by the producer to shoot that feature. Once you do a feature in 5 days, everything else is easy.
okay, so she sort of beat me. Like, I was the assistant camera on a film that we shot in 3 days, a feature film we shot in 3 days on 16 millimeter film. And then my shortest feature that I've produced was 8 days. So you got me beat.
It's insane.
It's insanity.
And
And we had 6 months of rehearsal. And
Wow.
actors that, like, they could do their lines perfectly, like, they were perfection. So we didn't have to do usually more than 2 takes. And if we had to do a second take, it's because we screwed up, not because they screwed up.
We had 1 week of prep because they had fired their director and then hired me on. So I had 1 week to prep. I had met no actors, and I literally was told, okay, you get Eric for like a day and a half, and you have Corey Feldman for half a day, and they're in scenes together. Make that work.
Oh!
Yeah, that's always fun.
I heard that about you, actually, and that was what I was like, how can I throw that kind of monkey wrench into her shoot on the real deal? Because that's great television.
Evil.
I'm just a little evil. But it's drama, right?
Well, but we get it done.
It's
Like,
the drama
we-
of itself.
There's nothing. I don't think we've ever been given a shoot that we haven't completed. Like we've never went over 12 hours. We've never.
Oh yeah, we always get the job done.
We've never gone
Even
over
when it's
budget.
like crazy town.
Because what you do is you just adapt. You go, oh, okay, I suddenly don't have that, or I do have this.
That's
Then
what the difference is between being a professional and being somebody that does this for fun.
Right.
A professional will just you can throw everything on. Like
You
I will
roll
always
with
get
it.
the job done.
Right, period.
Like there are times where we're not getting this. We are so screwed. We're not getting this done. We're like, no, there is no other option.
There's
It
no
will be done.
crying
And it will
in
be done
indie filmmaking.
amazingly well.
No,
There's
Top
no
quality
whining. There's no crying. You have 2 minutes and no budget to make it happen, so keep going.
we just got the cutest picture of the youngest viewer watching us right now. Now we've talked about boobs and other things. Great.
Oh, my.
You guys probably can't see this, but it's Lil Skyla. That's who's watching us.
Hi,
Aw.
Skyla.
She's watching us right
Hi,
now.
little Skyla.
Hi, Skyla. Text us a question, Skyla. You don't have to tweet it. That's tweeting's a grown-up game. At least it should be. What do you think about that with, like, sort of the whole new world? Like, when we were kids, teenagers, we didn't have Twitter and Facebook to deal with. Girls are mean enough in high school. Now they can hide behind the internet.
Yeah, I was, this is actually a really good transition. I was bullied really, really badly in high school, actually starting in elementary school. Like really starting in 3rd, 4th grade. It was horrific. I mean, and in high school to the point where I was thrown into trash cans head first, thrown downstairs, beaten up, bullied. In 7th grade, I accidentally answered a question wrong, and from then on I was labeled a slut, and I didn't even have the pleasure of earning my reputation. So that kind of sucked. I was
Can
a
you
virgin
imagine?
slut.
Then we have Facebook and Twitter suddenly. That would have been. It's already, like I said, it's already hard enough for you because you're
You would
having
have
it
a
in
fan
school.
page.
Right, but I left high school. I dropped out of high school. It was so bad. And I went to college, and I completely rebranded myself. And I could because there wasn't social media to follow me around and tag me and make me be the same person.
Yeah.
Right? And nowadays, it's very difficult to shake a bad rep. You have to be really careful, and you have to be careful from like the minute you start. So
Yeah.
my kid does video blogs, which I don't upload. He does the Jack Show, and he's 10, and he's brilliant. And I just worry that some superpower is going to steal him because he'll be the next Tony Stark, and they're like, yeah, he's going to build our next weapon system or something. So we need that kid. So I don't actually let them out, but I know a lot of people who do. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I talked to one of the guys yesterday. His 5.5-year-old has a podcast, right? And he uploads it, and it's cute. So the idea of privacy, there's no such thing. And so the bullying is really, really bad, and you have to be careful with what you put out. So I say my rule of thumb is if you are going to do something, my ethical decision of whether or not I'll do it is would I put it on the cover of National Enquirer in the supermarket checkout line when I'm at the grocery store with my mother? So if the answer is yes, and I'm going to get no more than maybe a raised eyebrow, then great, I'll do it. And if she would disapprove, then no, that's my answer right there.
That's really great. I think I second guess everything I ever tweet or put up. I always look at it and I go, can someone take this wrong in any way?
Well, they will. And let me just preface this with hurrah when the haters come out, because it's called ascension, right? You have a different brand of hater at every level of success, right? So I just got the random stranger calling me a whore, which was great. I'm like, really? If you knew how much I'm not a whore,
I notice this
it
a
would be
lot.
funny.
I notice this a lot because, like, we did the Billy Ray Cyrus video recently, and
Right.
like, we'll tweet, and we'll tweet a picture of like Tucker, the kid in the video,
Right.
and someone will make a comment, and I'm like, watch the video, will ya?
Right.
Like,
Right.
that's just ridiculous.
But see,
It's
so
like it's because
but
it's
it's a level of
they
awareness.
immediately hate
Right.
it.
But it's a level of awareness.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you're I'm sorry, you probably heard that burp. I really apologize. So see, largely inappropriate, no filter. So you get to that level of visibility where they notice you, where before you weren't on their radar. Okay. And there are people out there who just feel that it is their job to defend X, Y, or Z, the pink purple elephant defenders of the universe, and God forbid that you even mention a pink elephant without proper attribution. Like, they get offended, and it's over the silliest things, and this happened. I was really lucky with the auditions. We had 27,000 people submit, and many of them did it wrong, which was really interesting. It's
If you're
like
just tuning in, she's talking about The Real Deal. This is a show she's producing.
The Real Deal, the Real REEL Deal.tv. They emailed me their headshot resume and demo reel when it specifically said you have to post your original 90-second video on YouTube. 90 seconds is a minute and 30 seconds. For everybody who blew it on season 1, that was a trick question. I said 90 seconds, and YouTube tells it to you as a minute and 30 seconds. You have to be able to do that calculation. So we really only had like 2 inappropriate people out of all 27,000 who felt like they were amazing and fabulous and the next Academy Award winners, and I was crazy for not recognizing that. And and I watched their videos, and I'm like, no.
Yeah, we
No.
the one thing we'll say is, like, I love actors to death, but there's a lot of people do acting because of a narcissistic reason as opposed to because they have talent.
Right.
And those are the ones you'll weed out really fast through the audition process, just not
Right.
even reading and paying attention. And we have Jenny Curtis over there. I'm going to pull her in and have her sit and talk to us because she just come sit with us. Because she just
And then
experienced
we have Bernie Sue coming too?
Bernie's coming. He's here in 10 minutes. Bernie Sue is here in 10 minutes.
Yeah, but you're wearing a dress, so do you want here? Why? Here, go there. I'll sit here. Am I even in the frame anymore?
I mean, Jenny,
There we go.
you. It's funny because she's an actor, and she produced the Billy Ray Cyrus video, and then she found out firsthand how crazy people can be, especially parents of actors, which were always like, just simmer down, parents, simmer down.
Oh, yeah.
They're
You're
crazy.
costing your kids a role. In the audition, or like when we cut the actor reels, I've had her cut some actor reels, and then the note she gets back, she's like, "Are you serious? Like this is a
They're
thing?"
crazy.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to hear your experience, like casting for the first time from the other
Casting
side.
for the first time for me, I mean, the Billy Ray thing was different because we were casting off of headshots, so it was finding really cute kids, and that's just looking at pictures and dealing with crazy parents. But for the casting of my short for Road2NAB show, it was bizarre. Like, I mean, I had some really, I only called in 5 people I didn't know because we didn't have time. I didn't want a huge audition process, so I watched everybody's reels who submitted. I called in the best 5 who submitted, and of that, like 2 of them were really bizarre. And I had one guy, he was emailing back and forth with me. He was so excited. He couldn't wait to come in. The night before the audition, he goes, "Oh, wait, I don't know if I have the sides. Can you resend them?" So I don't think he even, knew what the project was. And then I sent him the sides, and in the morning he sent back, after taking a look at the sides, it was like, I don't think I want to move forward with this project.
Yeah, it's like,
Please remove me from your consideration.
thank you for weeding yourself out.
Okay,
Thank
I'll remove.
you.
And the funny thing was those sides were not at all what the movie was going to be. They were a rough draft, so I could meet people I didn't know and see how they act.
But again, it's the weeding out, and that's what you're kind of talking about. It's like weeding yourself out for us.
The self-selection process for anyone who is going to produce a film, I highly, highly recommend testing your actors. Throw things at them. Say, we're going to post this at this time, right? And don't do it. See who freaks out. And I'm not kidding. Like 10 people sent 50 emails going, "I didn't get it. I don't think I'm on the email list. Why did you?" And they freaked out. It's like, chillax. You need Zen actors. You need Zen crew people. You need people who just roll with it. I mean, that's the big deal. So
That's why it's so difficult to get anything made, because so many people
right.
don't
Put some testing in place ahead of time to let people self-select out of your project. I agree.
Especially with our show for the real deal, you really had to be careful about who you're going to bring on the road with you. You just didn't want any.
We were Road2NAB show, actually.
What was I? I'm sorry. I'm ready. I'm moving on. We did the road. Now it's time for the real deal. It's time to move on.
Yeah, exactly. We have completed our mission.
We completed our mission.
No, but the Road2NAB show does help prepare you for that, because you were on the road with a bunch of people, and even though you're not strangers, people's true colors come out when you're in tight, hairy, crazy situations.
Yep.
And I think everyone fared pretty darn well.
And I love that in our situation on the
great.
road, like the crazy that came out was like Malia meltdowns that made for hours. Like
Like the meltdowns, like which we discussed yesterday. We're always about having proper coffee and different things like that. Nothing.
Before we let Adrian go, we have a question from Daniel Knight at Dan Knight Actor. What is your advice on how to handle those difficult actors when under time pressure, assuming you can't get rid of them? That's probably for everybody, but Adrian, if you have thoughts on that first.
I've actually had to do that before, and it's pretty interesting. First of all, I screen ahead of time. I have hardly ever cast a diva or anyone who brings drama to the set. But when that does happen, there's a line that works fabulously. It says, "Your attitude is no longer needed on our shoot. You're excused." Right. And you fire them. Make sure you have a backup. So hiring people like Jenny Curtis, which I highly recommend if you're on any shoot, because she blew me away. I gave her something that, other people were like, "But that's such a known thing." And I'm like, I didn't see it, for her callback monologue. And she just nailed it. And she did it her own way. And that's what I'm always looking for, is uniqueness and originality. But so you want to have multi-talented people on your crew. I've literally done this. It's like, okay, who knows the lines? You're up, go. So in the indie world, you need maximum flexibility. You need people who could do multiple things. You need hybrids. You never want one person is like, all I do is plug things into the wall and I won't do anything else. That doesn't work on indies because, like I said, you have 2 minutes and no budget to make whatever problem just happened go away. And that includes actors. So the pre-screening process, take a little bit more time ahead of time so you don't cast assholes or divas. And I belly check them. Like with every celeb, like our celebs are the best, the absolute best. I cannot tell you how excited I am about them. I belly checked all of them, and these
oh my God, can I ask you
these
about
are
this?
A-listers.
Now that they're
and I'm like, come to coffee. And the ones who are like, no, we're offer only. I'm like, no, I actually have to feel your energy, or I'm not casting
I
you.
want to ask you before you go because
Yeah.
there was a time where Adrian and I we actually were at a big dinner with a bunch of women, and I kept trying to get juice from her. But she couldn't tell me anything then because she couldn't tell who the celebrities were. So now I would love to ask, knowing that I know Eric. I've worked with Eric Roberts.
He's amazing.
I know what he's, but I want to know what is his interviewing him, like sitting with him. What was that like? Or like, because I can't.
It
picture
was
him
like
just
going to breakfast with old friends.
really.
Oh yeah, we met for breakfast, and it was awesome. And it was like we'd known each other for a million years. And he got the concept of the show instantly. I told him, and so with all my celebrities, like even the contestants, they only know like this much of it. But with the celebrities, I'm like, here is my Death Star universe. Like I am building this massive thing. I told them everything. Not that they'd be able to repeat it. But they'd get it. He got it at such a deep level, and he was like, you're going to make some people very unhappy because you're about to upset the entire world that they know. And I'm like, yeah, I plan to. It's awesome. And he saw that, and he wanted in. He's like, I'm in. I am all the way in. And that level of support from a celebrity, it makes your show. It really does. So, when you're casting, especially if you're casting celebrities, make sure that they are all in, not for the paycheck, but all in with your vision, and your life will be amazing.
That's so good to know.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
How can we find the real deal? How can people go and start looking at videos and or where even better, where are they going to vote? Because voting starts soon.
Voting starts April 24th. Did I actually get the month right? I can't even tell you. Like the sleep deprivation is so hysterical. Like I don't even know what date it is. So April 24th, voting opens. You're going to go to therealdeal.tv, the REEL deal.tv. And there's a page with all the semifinalists, and there are going to be widgets on every single semifinalist page that will allow you to vote for them, and then also vote for your top 3 favorites in each category.
And that what date was that again? April
24th. And we were really lucky. We got to partner with Squirb, which is a new company that does contextual results and contextual feedback from consumers, and they totally tricked out our voting. So nobody's going to be able to go to Fiverr and buy 10,000 votes. It doesn't work that way. Actual humans will be voting and responding, and it's just fantastic because we're going to know, do they think you're sexy? Do they think you're interesting? Do they think you're quirky? Like, we're going to know what category they think you're in, not just if we like you.
This at all.
At all?
No.
No.
But April 24th.
April 24th,
go there
voting
and vote for me
opens.
and Collier and Jenny and our other Team Awesome Sauce members who aren't here, like Andrew Saxma. We love him. He's in the writer category. Okay, Adrian, we might have to have you back this week because we have so many things to talk about. But we do have Bernie Sue standing by. So thank you so much.
Thank
you were awesome. Thank you. Bye. Before we bring Bernie in, he's standing right by. Bernie Sue's going to be here in a second. But we have one question, which is, Jenny Curtis, how about a verse or two? Love your voice.
Oh, gosh.
Aww.
Why don't you give us a improv song about the Road2NAB show?
Okay, I'm going to do this. However, I want to preface that as an excited new director, I was screaming all weekend in the very dry desert. So my voice is almost pretty much entirely shot. But let's see. This song goes out. Wait, who asked?
Daniel Knight.
Daniel Knight. This song goes out to you. I don't know which camera to look at. There are so many of them. I don't have my guitar. Okay. We're sitting in NMX. Daniel asked a question. We're singing a song live on the air, and I don't know who's watching, and I don't care.
Yay.
Woo! All right, now
I quit.
You can quit now. I would love. Yeah, let's get Bernie Sue over. It's so rare that Bernie would even be here when we're filming, and he's not busy. So let's bring him in and give him Jenny's mic, since Collier is not going to get up because he thinks he looks pretty on camera. Bernie, come in, please. Yes. Jenny, feel free to sit over on Collier's lap if you want.
Hi, Bernie.
You're really going to sit there and distract the audience? This is
Feel
happening.
free to block.
All right, you go over there.
Really? That's how we roll, huh?
This is what happens on this show, Bernie. Yesterday you missed, like, you can sit on Collier's lap. He's got a good lap. It's good for sitting. Yesterday we had on the show, we had Malia. Do you know Malia Molino?
Yeah, I know
feel like
Malia.
you met her. So we had her yesterday, her and Mickey, they were the stars of Jenny's show. And it was out of control. It was just, they set a precedent that now we have to fill. And that's why that happens.
Okay.
We're not classy here, Bernie.
High bar, huh?
We're not classy like
High
you.
bar. I appreciate that. I'm glad classy is my adjective. Thank you.
Whenever I get dressed, I always tell Bernie when I get dressed, I always think, would Bernie Sue approve of my fashion today? What would Bernie wear? Would he like this hat with this shirt?
You shouldn't determine your look based on what I think you should wear, or based on what I would wear. That's a bad way to look at it.
Hashtag WWBW.
You don't need to. You don't need my validation. It's okay.
I do need your validation,
I'm
Bernie.
fine
And I'm going
without
to tweet
it.
out to everybody right now that you are here live now with Bernie Sue. See, we need like actual social media people, but my producer keeps saying season 2, babe. Season 2.
Season 2.
Season 1, apparently I have to do it all myself.
Waiting for the pickup, huh?
Well,
good to see you here.
Season 2.
I know. Normally I get a big Bernie hug, and now I'm like, I feel like I can't. I'm sorry. It has to happen. Squeeze me. So tell us, why are you here? Like, why are you even doing in this crazy place?
So I'm speaking on the Television Academy Creative Master Series presentation at 3 o'clock, which
that
is
sounds fancy.
2 hours from now. It's not that fancy. It's relatively.
Did that make you a master of something?
I guess so. They asked me to present for the Academy, and I said sure.
Wow.
Pretty simple.
Sounds important, guys. Collier, if you're just going to tweet for us, give Jenny the mic. Collier has become really good at remembering to tweet for us, but then we lose him in Twitter land.
You have a question, Miss Curtis?
Do I have a question?
You said like you had a question.
I'm holding a microphone now. I should have.
Well, Bernie, why don't you tell us exactly how you got involved with doing this for the Television Academy, a little bit about your background.
So a couple years ago, I co-created a series called the Lizzie Bennett Diaries. It's an adaptation of Pride and Prejudice. And
nobody's heard of it.
Well, not everybody's heard of it. We'll call it that way. And long story, it came out and was surprised everybody how well it did.
Yeah.
We submitted for the Emmys, and we won. So the Television Academy awarded us the Emmy for original.
You see what just happened? And we won. So then, anyway,
I'm
Emmy
I'm
award-winning.
The jump. So it's
Emmy award-winning Bernie Sue.
You asked why I was here, and I'm answering it.
Your Twitter handle is @BernieSue,
Yep.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yep, we're tweeting now. We're going to tell everybody to get their butts on and watch us.
I tweeted.
At NMXLive.com.
NMXLive.com.
I want to hear questions for Bernie from you guys right now. Right now, give me some questions. So what do you think? I know a lot of these answers, which is what's like. I'm like, whatever. But I'm gonna ask for people who don't know. There's people who are out there now who want to make their own series, and they don't really know. Like they get stopped because they're like, I don't know how to make it a success. I don't know how to monetize. I don't know how to do anything. I know you feel like a lot of it was luck. But, like, what do you think made your series successful?
Well, what's your measure of success? Is it the monetization? Is it the awards? Is it the...
Well, I think that's the question they have to ask first, right?
Yeah.
Do they want to win awards? Do they want to make money?
Well, I think if you bear it down to, you and I come from the kind of the old school web series world, and when you kind of measure success in web series, I think you have to bear it down to one of several things. It can be all things, but it's really one of several. So what's your goal here? Is the goal to make money? Is the goal to win awards? Is the goal to highlight your specific skill as an actor or writer or director? They're not mutually inclusive, but they're also not mutually exclusive, right? So I think you have to highlight one and say, this is the number one goal, and everything else is gravy on top of that.
Right.
We wanted to go in and tell and really experiment with storytelling. And we didn't know when we started the show. No one on the show knew if it was gonna work. We just assumed that we were gonna do the best we could, and hopefully it would execute, and the audience would come. So the success that Lizzie Bennett Diaries and the format has kind of grown into, to say that we predicted that would be an absolute lie.
Do you feel like, were you guys the first that you know of who took sort of a adaptation of a very popular series, a book, to make it a series?
Well, I mean, books have been turned into many different television shows. We know that.
But I mean, like what you guys did really, for me, I see why it's innovative, and I'm also starting to see copycats now from what you did.
Yes. Well, we'll call them inspired by.
Of course,
right.
But I mean that's to be flattering, because the fact that people thought, wow, that this really worked for these guys, and I like what they did.
Well, there's two ways to look at it. Number one is what we did is we took a classic story, and told it as a web series that was interactive. The characters could talk to the audience could talk to the characters, etc. That type of thing. That's been done before, many times. Most notably by Lonely Girl 15 back in 2007, whenever that was. So to say that we were the first to do that would be untrue. But taking a classical novel and telling it this way, I'm guessing we're the first. I think we're the most. Whether or not we are, I would say that we're the most notable. Lizzie Bennett Diaries is the most notable. I think it's safe to say that. And I'm really happy to see that there are probably no less than a dozen of these inspired by, where creative teams have come together, creative people, writers, directors, and actors and so forth, have taken a novel, decided that a novel that they like, or a short story, or a Shakespeare play, and are telling it in this format, where it's first person, talking to the audience, interactive, but it's a classical novel or a classical story.
So for me, when I first watched, when I heard about your show, and how popular it was, of course I go check it out, and I was surprised to see that it was a sort of vlog style format, because I was like, wow, this is this popular, and there's no real there's no scenes being cut together, there's no real there's interaction, but you know what I'm saying, it's not it doesn't feel,
it's not cinematic.
It's not. Yeah, I guess that's, I don't know if that's the word either, but yeah, it was a surprise that people are just sitting there watching, they really buy into the characters. Is that partly casting, you think?
I think it's very much so casting. I think our casting is vital to what we do. I believe we cast very well. All our characters on all our shows, I think we cast really, really well. Obviously, I'm biased, but I think it's really coming down to, you're a filmmaker, and I think as a filmmaker as well, the kind of surprise of it, or the revelation, is that it doesn't have to be cinematic. Cinematic's good. It looks better, I agree. Cinematic, grand scenes and everything, sure, that will look better than just someone sitting in a room vlogging with a camera. But at the end of the day, what do we love? Most people will say, maybe people at this audience, I don't know, most people don't watch movies because it looks beautiful, right? They watch movies or their television shows because it's a great story about characters that they love or they fall in love with. Right. And I think that's what we did with Lizzie really effectively, was that we presented characters that people fell in love with. And present them just in a very, and I say this positively, from a very raw point state of here she is exposing herself to a mass audience, and you're seeing kind of the inner workings of her psyche, because she's telling you.
Bernie, you bruised my ego when you said people don't come to watch the movies because they look beautiful.
That's his whole job.
My DB heart bleeds.
No.
But you get what he's saying.
But you get what I'm saying.
Of course I get what he's saying.
Look,
and I agree, and I totally agree. You have something that's shot really slickly that looks really stupid. I could rattle off about 15 movies right now.
We when we shoot our show, if you see our shows, Lizzie Bennett Diaries, I'm Approved, Welcome to Stanton, the shows that we do, yes, they're locked camera.
And this is for Geek and Sundry?
No, this is for primarily digital.
Got it.
The adaptation company. Yes, they are vlog-style shows, but they look pretty good. We have DPs, pro DPs that would be out shooting something else, professionally or whatever you want to call it, who are more used to doing more cinematic stuff, coming in and saying, we're going to light and set this scene up as best we can based on this one set.
Yeah.
So in actuality, what you kind of get is you get our pro DP and our pro production designer.
And that can be a lot of fun, too.
It can be a lot of fun. I'm like, this is all you get. This camera's not moving. This girl, or primarily in our case, this girl is going to sit here, and people will come in this room and chat with her and stuff. But this camera's not moving, so you got to make the scene look as good as possible, as real as possible, whether it be her bedroom, whether it be her office, whether it be another character's office, so they get to play. Certainly, the production designer and the camera guy, get to play. It's like, all right, right now the time of day in the show is 4 p.m. in the afternoon, so I need an afternoon sun. Where's that coming from? So they do get to do a little bit. True, it's not as, like we're gonna do this and do that and all that stuff when you see it on a traditional set, but we value I like to call them specialists. Our DPs, our production designers, our script soups, our sound guys, all of them are all part of the team.
So can you clarify your role on Lizzie Bennett Diaries for the audience? And then I have a question for you from our audience.
Sure. So I guess co-developed or co-created the show with a vlogger named Hank Green. When the show was running, I acted as the showrunner, so I was the head writer. I directed most of the episodes. I didn't direct all the episodes. And I was the head writer, so I would be the head of the writing room. I didn't write most of the episodes. I wrote a lot of them, but I didn't write most of them. And so a lot of the writing team came together. And I also was the head of the interactive team, or I worked with the interactive team to create the interactive experience that we did. Now, the team, of course, we won the Emmy for that process.
Emmy.
So you don't have to repeat it.
Hashtag Emmy.
But I just want to say that
Hashtag Emmy winning Bernie Sue.
I just want to say that they're great at what they do, and also the writers, of course, on the team who weren't just screenwriting for the show. They came aboard the interactive side too and contributed in that side. So it really was a team effort.
That's crazy. You guys had a team of writers on a web series. Like, that's sort of a traditional TV format. Is that something you did on purpose?
Yeah, definitely, because we had so many episodes. Lizzie Bennett Diaries as a show has 9.5 hours of total content. That's 6 movies, And so to say that one writer is going to write 9.5 hours of script, that's rough.
It's crazy town.
So you almost have to. I believe when Lizzie and Sanitin and now Emma are running, they're scripted, narrative, serialized web series. They're all those things: scripted, narrative, and serialized, and they're ongoing. So we've seen scripted, narrative, serialized web series out there, but I believe we're the only one that runs like a television show, meaning that we don't shoot everything out in advance and then release it incrementally. We shoot and we release some, and then we shoot again and release some, and so we can react to the audience. We can alter our scripts and adjust based on things we run across. I don't know, things that happen that we can predict, or things that happen that we go, oh, that's fortuitous, let's do that. So it goes both ways. So we run that way. Whether or not that's the most economical, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard writing 9.5 hours of total content.
I actually really like the collaborative process. So I feel like even if I write, like for instance, Jenny has a script that's a wonderful web series, and then I've started working with her to write, because I just feel like the collaborative process just brings out the best. So, but has it been hard? Has there been some drama that's like, is there ever the disagreement, the headbutting, or do you find that everybody's kind of really supportive of the?
I mean, you have, we'll say, contention. You have people disagree on certain things. That's natural.
Yeah.
2 people in a room, no matter how good they are together, will eventually disagree on something.
We never disagree on anything, do we, Jenny?
It's inevitable. But I will say that at least the way we run our teams, we encourage opinion. I like to say to my actors when I work with them that if you have a problem with a line or some dialogue, please tell me, and we will adjust it. Just because we wrote it doesn't mean you have to say it exactly the way we wrote it.
It doesn't mean it's Emmy Award-winning writing. It's an Emmy Award-winning show. It's different.
Please stop saying that. Well, to finish your point, though, we encourage collaboration.
Yeah, that's great.
I encourage the team to speak up when they have an opinion, especially if they disagree on something. I want to know. The way I look at it is, like, you hear about people who go like, oh, it's my show, you have to do it my way. No, that's not true. Well, sure, it is my show, but you don't have to do it my way. I don't really care if it's my way or not. I care if it's a good show.
Right. That's
So
the way to be.
if your opinion makes the show better and you convince me, great. Let's do it. It's happened many times.
I'm going to jump into some questions before we lose time with you, because I know
Sure.
you have to go. You're very busy. One of the questions is from @DanKnightActor. He says, Mr. Sue, when you start a project, such as adapting a novel into a web series, do you storyboard it, or do you go with the flow? Yours is very different and very interesting. So that's kind of an interesting question.
Well, for Lizzie Bennett Diaries, I think it's a good example because this is how we kind of run all of our shows. We script out, or we kind of outline out to a point. So we didn't take the entire book of Pride and Prejudice and go, we're going to just script the whole thing out right now and outline the whole thing out right now. 60 chapters, however many pages it is. Different publications will tell you differently. Today, we said we're going to script out the first 12 chapters. Well, we'll outline the first 12 chapters and we'll script out the first 4, and see how that goes. And then when you do that, at least you have a starting point. It's like piloting a television show, right? No television show goes, we're going to write the whole thing today. Well, I guess they do now because you have like the Netflix where they order the whole show. But we don't do it that way.
And is yours, because yours is so interactive, does your characters, like, oh, the audience is really loving this character, let's add more of them? Does that kind of stuff happen?
It has in the past. I mean, there have been a couple times in our shows where we've had breakout characters where the audience loved them more than I think we thought in the beginning. Not that we didn't think they would love them; they really loved them. Right. And then we tweaked, our show to adjust to that and to play more to that. I think it's great. I think it's great that we can be reactive to our audience to a certain degree. But I think the opportunity is like you see an opportunity where you can go, ooh, we can highlight these characters more because at first they only served the plot point, but now the audience really loves them. So let's give them more screen time. We can do that.
I know we wrap up with you. I would love to I have one more question for you from the audience, but I also want to kind of go back to sort of the roots of how you got started and sort of got to where you are now. I know I met you when you had Compulsions, and it was a web series.
Yeah.
I don't know what you did before that. Was that your first?
Well, I worked on other projects, but I wasn't like that was the first project that was really mine, where I created the concept and was the head writer.
It was like the most, at the time anyway, it was the most cinematic and gritty web series I'd ever seen, and the writing was so good and the acting was so good, and I think you set a bar in a way for people who were doing web series. I mean, do you feel that? Have you seen? You haven't sort of. I'm sure you've heard that before.
I'll say I've heard it. I don't know, just because Compulsions is a project that, first off, I think it's funny when people see Lizzie Bennett Diaries first, then from that, and they go back and watch that show, and they go like, "This is the same guy."
Compulsions, you would love to shot it.
It's so gritty and dark and everything. Even though it has one of the Lizzie Bennett actors as the lead, it's good memories. I'll say it that way.
Your star is now in every commercial ever.
Well, he's also on an ABC show.
Is he really?
He's a regular on Mixology.
Oh,
congratulations! You can see him tomorrow night. ABC.
Tomorrow,
8 Central, I think.
I love this. I love this plug.
8 Pacific,
That's
7
amazing.
Central.
He deserves it.
But like from that, I guess I don't know what I think about that show.
Well, that show then won awards for you. Like I remember hearing stories about. I think it was the Streamies at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing stories where there was all these writers were nominated. And Streamies was the biggest awards at the time for web, and they were like writers from like Sony and Showtime. Or like there was like really big
there
studio.
Was Sony, there was MTV, there was and then there was the team from Anyone But Me, which is won many awards.
Yeah,
great show. And I think there was one more team. I forget the.
It's like but there was all these known writers, because even Anyone But Me. I mean, that team of people has come from a really high level of working like studio shows and stuff. And so the story I was told was that and he wasn't in the room when I was told the story, but like they announced his award and the roof was gone. Like the room exploded because it was this sort of indie underdog no one had heard of won this award. And now look at you. Now everybody knows Bernie Sue.
Well, maybe. You do, at least. That's all that matters to me.
Jenny knew your name.
WWBW.
WWBW.
And you guys can tweet Bernie when he leaves here at Bernie Sue. You can find Lizzie Bennett Diaries and Emma Approved via those actual domains.
You can just those domains we control. You can also just look them up on YouTube. You'll find them. They're both adaptations of Jane Austen. So I think we're the first thing that pops up when you look up Emma Woodhouse, the iconic character on Emma, on YouTube. And I believe we're the first person that comes up.
Nice.
When you look up Lizzie Bennett.
You're taking over the world. Have you gotten haters from this? People who are like, why are you doing this? I know you have a lot of love for it.
Look, when you have a large audience, you'll have people who disagree with some of the things that you do, some of the choices you make. And we took, naturally, it's because we took something that's so iconic and honored and like classic, right? There's always gonna be someone out there who just goes, you're messing up the classic, right? That's fine. That's their opinion.
Did you hear they're making Goonies 2? Evil face.
Well, you know,
I'm already hating on
I'm
it.
open-minded. Look, I'm open-minded.
She's a purist.
You know, here's an example, right? Last year, our team went to the Jane Austen Society of North America. They're kind of their annual meetup, right? And we presented, and I think of all my speaking engagement, that was where I was by far the most nervous, because I believed everyone in that room, which had like 1,000 people in it, knew more about this book than I did. Yeah. You know, I know a lot about the book, but I mean, I've only been studying the book for a couple of years, and they've been studying it for probably half a year, half a decade, if not more, right? So I was pretty nervous, and I knew that there had to be people in that room who didn't like what we did. I knew it. There had to be, just like statistically, and yes, people came up and said like they were so glad that the book, our adaptation has led to people to read the book for the first time, who never could understand Jane Austen.
You're like Oprah. You're inspiring reading.
Sure, right, and so forth. So I know there's net good from what we've done, but there are people who go, your adaptation did it incorrectly, and I go, I accept that criticism. You have the absolute right to look at our show, read the book originally, and say we did it incorrectly, because you can't say it's almost impossible to say we're going to do it exactly correct when you fast forward the setting 200 years and inject all these things like modern technology and like modern women's rights, and like all these things into the narrative. It changes things.
Absolutely.
So whether or not we were, effective or anachronistic, because we we were speaking in old dialogue and new dialogue and trying to find that mismatch, that's up to you. It's up to the audience to decide.
Well, everybody seems to love it. You guys are considered one of the most successful web series, I think, out there. I mean, it's like if you hear what's a successful web series, you hear The Guild and Lizzie Bennett Diaries. So that's pretty
nice.
Cool.
Nice.
So congrats on that.
We had both directors a part of Road2NAB show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sean was here, right?
Yeah, Sean Becker.
Yeah. Where is he?
He's actually had to hit the road. He's got like too many jobs.
That guy.
He's so in demand as a. I thought I was busy. He doesn't sleep.
Bex.
No.
Bex.
Sean and Bex.
We love him. Him and Jason, we had the best time on the road with them. Maybe next year we'll get you on the road with us.
I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Roughing it in your hats and ties, Bernie. It'll be awesome. Oh, I'm so glad you came, and we'll find you after and have some fun later before you leave.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Our session is at 3:00 in the South Hall, room 220.
220 South Hall, 3:00. Get your walking shoes on. Go now.
And it really drills down. I mean, it's basically the presentation of the Lizzie side of the presentation is what we presented last year to the Academy to kind of showcase what we did interactively, and I believe won us the Emmy. At least it was a big part of it, that presentation, because it really just highlighted what the deep dive stuff, the things that if you just clicked on the site and watched for 5 minutes that you wouldn't necessarily get unless you spent like hours and hours in, like our great fans do, So it highlighted them and really highlighted what they did. The Emma approved version is also the same way. So you get to kind of see the intricacies of what we do in that show. That's an evolution of Lizzie Bennett Diaries and does stuff a lot differently than the shows do. I mean, they're similar, they cut from the same cloth, but they're different pieces.
Cool. Very cool. Good luck with that.
Thank you.
And we will see you after.
I guess so.
All
See you
right.
soon. Bye.
Thanks, Bernie.
Thank you, Bernie.
Jenny, you want to sit in the seat, in a real seat, while we say goodbye? I love Bernie Sue.
She's just going to slide across the floor.
This happened. She's gotten sleep. She's back. She's back with us. She's back to say. We actually ran out of time. We had so many questions. We're out of time to answer all of them. So we'll answer those questions tomorrow. We promise. But we almost had an iPhone. I was so close. But then he found it. But as we wrap up, I just want to see if you guys have anything at all that you want to share at all about the trip or your experience yesterday. People watched your film yesterday for the first time, Jenny.
Yes.
Was that nerve-wracking?
That was incredibly nerve-wracking. I have to say, though, we didn't. It's weird. It was weird. It was nerve-wracking, and we didn't have the proper speakers, so it was really, really weird watching it with not all of the elements intact. But still, it was incredible for people to see what I did.
I mean,
see what we
the-
did.
And the television was wonky too.
Well, the movie was beautiful, guys. And you shot it, you directed it. I was watching it, I was almost jealous. I was like, how come hers looks like that and mine doesn't?
What? Okay, no, pause. You guys, you don't even know what Jen has done with her music video. Or
No,
the music
the music
video.
video is beautiful. There was something about, and I don't know what that was, but you know what I'm saying? There was something about the way you shot it. I don't know if it was the locations that you guys picked, but something about it was just really beautiful.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I liked the little lighting scheme that I came up with for Mickey's kind of monologue, kind of intense scene.
Cool.
Kind of side keyed him from both sides.
I think
and
we're
that
going to,
was pretty
on
cool.
Thursday, if you guys tune in at 9 a.m. on Thursday, we're going to talk about it a little more and show some clips. So while you
Yeah,
talk
that'd be
about
cool.
it, we can show them what you're talking about.
Yeah.
We just didn't have time today because we had awesome guests to talk to.
We did.
I'm actually well rested, but I'm still very tired.
I'm tired
So I think
too.
we
It's
should-
crazy. I'm like, I need to get like some sort of energy, some Red Bull or something.
I think we
Next
need
year we need to
food.
get sponsored
More
by
good
Red Bull or
coffee.
Monster or both. Or
Yeah.
Lots
So
of it.
on that note, I want to thank you guys so much. As always, we will thank our sponsors, Gawk.com and Carl's Ice Lenses and Dynamic. And of course, NAB Show for treating us like rock stars and New Media Expo for changing. Well, they changed my life. They've changed Adrian's lives. And in some way, they've probably changed these guys'
Pretty
lives
much,
because
yeah.
they've been affected by me to have us here today. And Jorge for having the dream to get on a bus and go
Yeah.
make some movies.
we also want to thank Red Rock Micro, Powerlinks, and
Everybody else. Oh,
everyone else.
Can I
Black Magic,
thank
Black
my
Magic
mom?
News at Black Magic
okay.
News,
So
Black Magic
as we're
Design.
sitting here, my mom, who was watching us, sent $50 and said, "Because I love you."
Aww. So is that going to pay for cocktails or food?
I think we should get some pedicures. What do you think?
Well,
Yes.
Pedicures,
Yes.
pedicures, and massages.
Yes.
All right, you guys. Please see us tomorrow at 1. This is so much fun. We love that you tweet with us, and we will see you tomorrow at 1. Bye.
Thank you guys. We'll see you at 1.
Are we-
Oh, and thanks to at Tech Zulu too.
Oh my
We
gosh,
good?
I love Tech Zulu.
We're out. I'm gonna hold this though. Giving me a microphone.
Justin in his shirt that
Is
makes
this in a speaker? Like, why does it sound like it's?
it's in your head.
Hello?
Bernie, honey.
Hello?
Hug.